I took a chill for a season to show Brooklyn I was cool. And when it was finally over, I still lost. So here we are. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 17. GM Mode Sim commentary for the Brooklyn Atlantics. I am F5 Penguin. You can find me all over the web at F5 Penguin. It's been a long time. I should not have left you without a dope video to step to, or at least watch. More hip hop references is what I'm full with, because today we're going to recap the 1957 season, and boy, it had its ups and its downs. We finished 40-42, but we were 7 games ahead at one point before the end of the season, where we had to play Tallahassee and Quebec City, who subsequently won the latter, formerly, subsequently won the championship. So it was rough, and I want to take it to the screen here. We'll look at this, because a lot of things happened, and I think we are on the right track now that we have the monetary issue remedied and solved. So let's take a look. Ed Schmidt left. This is a recap video. We're not gonna do anything special for next season just yet, because the draft isn't here and all these things. So let's just go through how the season panned out with signings, and we'll go from there. So Ed Schmidt left. We knew that. We got some scouting discoveries. Don't matter. Then we signed John Johnson. Okay, this was a huge deal. I signed him to a 1 season with a team option for a 2nd season. It did not work out. We subsequently voided his option for this year, so he tried and failed. Got injured twice. It was horrible. We keep going. We signed Kyle Fannis, and if you look at Kyle Fannis, and scouting rating is going to be different. We'll get into that in a second. It looked like he could have been something great. Look at all these accolades. And no, not so much. We still have him on our team for $580,000. One more season. I can't wait to get rid of him. What a bust. Bad idea. People say he was good, but if you go look at our numbers here, 6.68 ERA, 2-6. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. If we go to his batting or pitching stats here, minus 1.8, FIP 147. Terrible. So he's overpaid. He's garbage. I can't wait to get rid of him. Another situation of, getting rid of people. I want to make sure I go through this right with you all. So 1 second here. Kleinmeyer, 56. Yeah, here we are. So 56, we got, let's see here. What are we looking at? 57. Where are we? I can't find where we were now. Oh, this is frustrating. Ed Schmidt signed. Ed Schmidt left. Okay, here we go. So we signed Kyle Fannis. Done. No big deal. We signed Cantu back. So Joplin lost Cantu, and we ended up getting him back again at a cheaper rate, and we're going to vet him and hope he stays healthy. And I'm kind of excited to have Edgar Cantu back, and he's probably going to retire with the Brooklyn Atlantics. Power bat, some good contact. I think this will help us in the long run. He helped us last season. Then we get into our draft picks, and overall, not a bad deal with the draft picks. Couple of key guys to look at is Hendrickson and Benker and Ortiz. Those guys were really good. And then further down the list here, we got McConnell and Alvira. So the rest of those guys didn't really pan out. We'll see. They're kind of just mediocre. We have a draft coming up. We're going to try to look to build upon that. Quintal was also pretty good. His rating should get to about a 6, so that's pretty good. And if we look here, Philpott, we were on a contract year. We extended his contract. He signed. He's in for cheaper. He wanted less money, $450, and we got him for another, I believe, 6 years. So he will definitely stay with the team for a long time. Philpott, a staple for the Brooklyn Atlantics for sure. Then we got some scout discoveries. We can blow through those because they don't matter. Anatole Thierry actually also opted out of his contract year. This was in a contract year. He decided to opt out. I re-signed him, got him at $740 for 4 years, and boy, oh boy, is he worth it. He is going to end up being our 6th inning setup guy as well as our lefty specialist, and he kind of played around in the middle relief as well as a spot starter in 57. Then John Johnson. So this is the end of the season. John Johnson gone. Okay, so we're going to bring you up to speed into what we are in now. We were 40-42, like I said. we came on some good hot streaks right at the end. I mentioned we lost to QC, we lost to Tallahassee, but more importantly, Zarnecki got injured and Capper got injured, and that was killer. Even with the training that we had, and I pulled them back a little bit on the strategy, things were just not meshing. Between that and the inability to recover, our stars were injured. It was just a bad news bears front to back all over. So I hope we can stay healthy and do well this season. Now, we scroll up a little bit. We signed Lee Thurston, who has some potential, young kid. We got him on a minor league signing, $8,000. He's in our minor league squad. He's in Phoenix right now, and we hope he will be an addition to our team. And then we got the big guns. Okay, this is where we had money. Our payroll was only $2 million. Our budget was 4.3, and we were projected to end up with a $2 million surplus in the offseason if it stayed the same. So I decided, let's go to the wall, let's go to the window, let's go to the sweat something something hip-hop reference number 3 for the show, and we picked up Alex Estrada. QC could not afford him. They were going for some other players like Leva and all those other guys that they got. I don't even know who it is. Top-notch guys at QC. So we are taking the spoils from Jeff the way he took Nick Clark and Matt Graves from us in 1951 and 52. So 4.6 mil, 6 years. Look at these numbers. Boom. This is huge. Alex Estrada is the guy of the future. 10-3, full innings, did not get injured, 2.38 ERA. Our ERA was abysmal. We'll look at that in a second, but this is our guy. We got him locked up for a long time. Look at this, and if you look at his whip, record-setting whip, last season, game starts, record-setting, season prior, 14 wins, record-setting. So this is a guy that we have for the next 6 years. We got him till he's 38, and we got him on options, and the price obviously goes up, and we can opt out if he doesn't pan out. But the good news is we have the rights to him. He doesn't get to choose to opt out. We do. That is a benefit and a bonus to us, especially as a team that is growing as we move forward. So we got Estrada. We also went for the big guns and picked up Jason Walker. This is also a big deal because Jason Walker, if you look here, top-notch guy from GSS, right? Gary South Shore. He is not going to break any records, 3.25 ERA, but we also look at his FIP minus, and it's 86. So he's about 14% better than the rest of the league. We needed some talented stars. We needed some starters. We had no starters. That's what it came down to. So we got him as well. And then lastly, we have right fielder Josh Long, who is kind of a fringe player. I'm not really sure on him. A couple of things I don't like. One, his injury history. Fragile. Obviously, that's not good for anybody. If we look at his games, you can see he only played 21 games and then 46 games while he got traded for 2 teams. Then in Albany, he only played 54. So what I did is I said, okay, we'll take a chance on him because we need a right fielder. We have Ramirez, who we signed last season, who's back and forth, right? This is what we'll do. 185 for 2 years. If it still works out and he's still good at 40 years old, we can vest him at 195. He's got to play 70 games in 59. I obviously don't see that happening. On the off chance it does, we'll pay him for it. But if it doesn't, then we're not going to pay him and he's gone. So we win on this one as well. I'm learning how to use these options to our benefit so we can keep the rotation solid and have players to call up from in the minors to fill the gaps once we decide to avoid some of these contracts like Joe Johnson. So we made the right call there. And then lastly, we had to do it. We released Antonio Zamorano. His movement is just dropped off the chart. Not really anything good. Just it wasn't cutting it. Key games last season, he lost. And it's just that's not going to cut it for me. Blew a save here. You can see in the game log. If we pull up the entire pitching stats and we go to game log, blown save there, blown save there, blown save there. There are 3 in the season. That is not going to do it for me. I'm not okay with that. Especially one of them was right at the end of the season where we needed a win. And, you know, we just can't keep having that happen and expect that to be okay. So for 10K, we were going to hold him out for 5 years and, maybe re-sign him. Nope, not going to do that. He's gone. We're going to replace him with some more talent. That's what it looks like. So where does that take us to? We're 5th out of 22 for our player development in our minors. We got a bunch of guys we're going to call up. We're calling up Rubenstein to the major league this season, at least seeing how he does in spring training. That's our major guy. That's not all we've done. So first and foremost, our scouting director, our legendary scouting director, for some reason, players and coaches, rather, retire in Brooklyn. I don't know why it is, but he did. He retired, and now we have just a good guy. Good. No legendary status, just good. So the ratings we have to kind of take with a grain of salt. I don't know if they're going to be real or not. I'm going to have to go off of stats and really make a good decision here and move forward. Also, we found out assistant managers mean absolutely nothing for our team. So I hired the cheapest one I could at $10K. We filled the role for Luis Zendejas. He's not going to do anything for us because we control the entire team. Moving on. Our manager's contract expired. We did not renew it. It was not working. We knew that going into the season. So we let him walk. We hired somebody new that favors veterans, which we have a lot of, favors hitting, favors offense, power, and on-base percentage, and has some control over the aggressive base running, hit and run, matchups, and pinch hitting. I think this is a good decision. He was a bench coach for Winnipeg, but I think we can make something happen here. If we look at the relationships, they're not the worst. 2 of those 4 players that are going to have worse relationships, they're going to be gone by the end of the season. So I'm not stressing about that. And we don't necessarily need to have a higher influence as long as we don't have a lot of low influences. And our past manager had 6. So I'm hoping this kind of just shakes it back in the normal. And also, we signed a new bench coach, Don Simmons. Excellent and conventional. A little bit temperamental, fine. But having him as a bench coach should prove useful. Basically, we took things from Wichita and Winnipeg and tried to make it work. We will see if it does. We promoted a pitching coach up to the majors. We left Phil Probst down here. He plays small ball and doesn't seem to get along with a lot of our players, as you can see from here. Oh, that changed. All right, so we might have to bump him up next season. We'll see. It did not work this season. And then we also filled the roles of many of our staff that expired from the single A and double A, and that's because we realized we were offering extensions to crappy management, and that was not doing well for us. So we offered extensions. We got some people locked up through 61. Some contracts expire at the end of 58 that will obviously renew prior to that, and that's how our personnel looks like for the entire season. So where does that bring us? If we go to accounting, we are projected to make $600,000 this in balance this season, losing $400,000 for the year. Not a bad deal, not a bad gig. We had some extra money sitting from last season that we're simply using for players. No big deal. Also, we have one more offer that I'm not going to show because people watch this video and he's on the table still. One big offer. Zelaya's contract ends this season. I don't think I want to re-sign him. That's what it comes down to, is I don't think I want to re-sign Zelaya for $550. If I go to offer a contract, he wants more money. So I have someone better with a 6 movement. I think we're gunning for him. We will offer a contract for Zelaya and see if he takes less at the end of the season. If he doesn't, we got a guy in backup that we can always trade. So we'll see how that goes. But at 15 saves, I know we didn't set him up for the perfect success, but he did have some blown saves. I wanted to pull that up while we were here. Looking for that stat. Expanded stats. Yeah, we had 2 blown saves in key games late, and he gave up a couple of home runs early to Wichita and to Tallahassee that he wasn't doing before. So at 33, I'm hesitant to re-sign. I picked up somebody in free agency. I offered him around what Zelaya is making. We're still going to be fine. We're going to break even for the season as our ending balance, and that's okay. We'll move forward. So Zelaya is the question mark. We also have a couple of things to look forward to. Olsen will be coming up for renewal. We'll probably renew him. Glazer, same thing. Glazer's a beast for us. He's been our best ERA, 1.55, 0.72 prior, right? So Glazer's good. We're going to keep him. And then we go to Ramirez. Probably won't re-sign him as a bench player. Hernandez is kind of on the bench. And then Punkachar is a question mark, a very, very, very big question mark that I don't know if we're going to even keep. We'll probably just let him walk. So we do open up a little bit of salary, and that kind of offsets it. It just depends on what we want to do with our closing situation, which we can address at the end of the season. Moving forward, here is our 30-man lineup. I guess it's 29 men right now. I don't know who else to call up, but Ciula's up right now. Kirshner's up. McCarty got the full-time gig, and now he's killing it. He surprised everybody. I didn't expect him to do as well as he did, and he is lighting it up with flying colors. He's done really good for us this past season, 252, but came up clutch in key games. Philpott, obviously, he's a staple. McKinley, backup. Zarnecki, Capra. We got Perdomo and Punkachar kind of tossing it up to see who's going to stick to the majors. Cantu Ramirez with Josh Long, the guy we signed, playing a backup but probably a starting role here in a bit once I make the change. So we just got him signed this sim. So that's where we're going to leave it. I want to show you where we sat. We were dead last halfway through the season until I went to make drastic changes to the lineup and everything, and it resulted in us being 8th in runs scored, 6th in average, 4th in on-base percentage. Huge. 14th home runs, better than before, right? We're 22nd all the time. 12th in stolen bases, 13th in runs against. The worst thing in starting ERA. That's why I went for starters. Had to pick some people that were going to do better, and that wasn't better than 15th the entire season. So we have to look at that. 6th in bullpen ERA, though, so that did make up for it. And middle of the pack in defensive efficiency, which used to be a staple of the Brooklyn Atlantics and is no longer the case as we kind of revamp our team and move to the future. So that being said, I'm leaving it right here. Short video to recap the season. I apologize for the absence. I had a couple of content disputes with YouTube and just needed to take a quick minute off to kind of recap and reassess. I have big things in store coming down the pipeline. Bad Mutt, Bad FIFA. That's obviously coming up with Rush Puck. I've been working big time with the Xbox Ambassadors, Wednesdays, 8 o'clock on the Xbox Ambassadors Twitch. Find that show out for gaming news. Definitely something you want to take a look at because we are doing some fun things over there. And then also, we will be kicking up my streams again. I did get Madden courtesy of a stream member, Madden stream team member. I'm excited for. So I have that coming. A lot of projects on the way. Stay tuned. Check out all my sites. Like and subscribe this video. Of course, the link is in the description below. I hope you've been following to the Premier League Baseball. And this, of course, is F5 Penguin. You can find me all over the web at F5 Penguin. And you can find more right here of Out of the Park Baseball 17, the GM Mode Sim commentary for the Premier League Baseball Brooklyn Atlantics. I will see you all in the next video. We're rejuvenated. We back. We're going to win, or at least be above 500. Baby steps. Baby steps.